moving up to the outside stall. And they're just about ready. They stand well, and they're off and racing in the kindergarten, and Solar Charge jumped on turns with the Magista going up on the outside, but Solar Charge has got a little bit too much speed for them early, and the favourite ran away and led by over a length on Georgette Silk, and then came Magista. Gold Arena going up on the inside, and Triple Crown along the rails starting to improve. Ellen Barry was beaten for speed, went back to second last, and last is Manahara. So Bowman's got this leader under a very tight hold at the 600. Solar Charge leading out by a length on Georgette Silk. Triple Crown third on the inside, Agista on the outer. It's already being hard ridden, and then Gold Arena. Ellen Barry's a long way back as this leader goes for home. Solar Charged increasing its lead, and Manahara back last. Solar Charged with Bowman steering wide. Georgette Silk is riding its slipstream into the straight. They're about 3 lengths on Triple Crown, Gold Arena, and Agista. He starts to ride Solar Charged along. She's about 3 lengths in front of Georgette Silk, who's not making any impression. The leader's wobbling in towards the rail, Solar Charged, but here's the new slipper favourite. She's making a mess of them, Solar Charged. She'll go down and win it by about 4 lengths on Ellen Barry and Georgette Silk. And then came Manahara, followed further back in behind them by Triple Crown, then Gold Arena, and back last of all was Agista.
Slipper favourite indeed. Number 8, Solar Charge. She is quite some filly by Charge Forward. For John O'Shea and Hugh Bowman, he was perched up over her wither as they came into the straight. She was a little bit wayward. He's pulled the whip through to the right hand to keep her on the straight and narrow, but she was just far too good. She was under an absolute vice-like grip as they came around the turn. Ellen Barry already off the bit as they were coming into the straight. She wasn't able to catch this flying filly. Solar Charged. Georgette Silks managed to get into third placing. Ellen Barry making up some ground late after being out towards the back of the field, but she's very smart, and this is a very, very nice 2-year-old for Peter Horwitz.
She's a terrific filly. She's 2 for 2. I love her action. I love how she just, when Huey said go, she just levelled out like a cheetah and said, see you later. Look at Huey Bowman. He hasn't touched her. He's just kidding to her at the moment. Georgette Silk was under pressure turning for. They were all under pressure turning for home. Huey says, go girl, what have you got? Just shifts in a little bit of a shifty surface here, the slow track, but once she knuckled down to a task, it was all over, a long way from home, and she is a very, very smart filly. Ellen Barry getting up late for the second placing. Georgette Silk there as well, but it was just a 1-horse race. Let's go back to Richard Cowan with the winning connections.
Johnny O'Shea's down here. Thank you, Rich, and a pretty happy Johnny O'Shea too. And never easy. A lot of pressure going into the race, but John, that's a big smile now.
Yeah, no, it's relieving, and you tend to not enjoy them that much, but it's nice that she got away with it and did it in such lovely fashion.
You're always cool, calm and collected, but there's a little bit of nerves before the race.
There's a little bit of anticipation, and we'd love to get there and win a major for Peter again, and hopefully this filly will be the one.
The bonus for you now is you can go forward confident knowing that she handles rain-affected tracks as well as the firm ground.
Yeah, she seemed to get through that lovely.
All happy, all rosy. The best part, John, that acceleration is wonderful.
It is, and she box seats as well, and it's got a lovely gate speed without being too silly. She's got a lovely fluent action as well, and she looks to be the ideal sort of 2-year-old.
Another run before the slipper?
I think we need to. I think, it's just a bit of seasoning. You can see she wobbled late, and I think you wouldn't want to do that in a golden slipper irrespective of your ability. So we'll just toddle off to the Riesling in a fortnight.
Well done, mate.
Cheers now.
There he is, Johnny O'Shea. A very happy Johnny O'Shea too. And I just want to grab Peter Horwitz, Caroline, the owner, of course. Peter's going to make a very kind gesture. And I didn't want to give it the kiss of death before the race, Pete, but you come and saw me a very nice gesture. You're going to donate 10% of the winnings to the National Jockeys Trust.
That's correct. I think the jockeys do go through a hell of a lot of risk and a lot of danger, and I'm more than happy to do that. And I'm glad she won, and I'm glad they'll get the 10%.
You've raced a lot of horses over your time. It's always nice to get another nice one. And although we've never always agreed on a few of the jockeys' rides on your horses, you've got to respect their courage and that when they get up.
They're fantastically courageous, and we've probably both been on a horse and been scared out of our wits. So I think what they do is fantastic, and we've seen people like Paul Good who've come through all that, and with a smile on his face and everything. So, it's nice to see that they had a big sponsorship for the jockeys out here today, and it was very well handled, and they deserve every support they get.
Mate, thank you for your kind offer.
Pleasure.
Caroline, Peter, 10% to the National Jockeys Trust.
a great gesture, and look, he's already won a Golden Slipper with Sir Dapper, hasn't he? So Solar Charge, she could be heading for the same route, going to the Riesling next up. You'll see here that he gives her a hit with the left hand, and you'll see her duck in. He pulls the whip through to the right, and then that is where she absolutely flattened out.
She's a star.
Coming back with a big smile on your face, Hugh, how did it feel?
Pretty good. She's a real deal. That was a big bit of a test for her against quality opposition today. She was going up a lot in class, but we expected her to perform the way she did, and it's lovely to see her do it.
The gate's open. A lot of us thought it just as a flying machine. Will Huey sit off it? What will Hugh do? But your girl began brilliantly.
Well, she has done all her life. She's a natural 2-year-old from the first time I trialled her back in the spring, and she went on to win her first start, and she speaks for herself. She doesn't need me to tell you how good she is.
That turn of foot.
Yeah, it's lovely. Actually, she feels like she just lengthens. She don't feel her quicken, which is always a good sign.
The 1200, the Golden Slipper, you don't think that'll be a worry?
I wouldn't think so.
Mate, congratulations, perfect right.
Thank you.
There he is, Huey Bowman. He gets the win, Caroline. I think we've seen, well, as Mark Sheen said so aptly in the call, he's the new Golden Slipper favourite.
Quite rightly too. The time 104.6, so 64.6, 34.78 for the final 600 metres. And the margins, well, she bolted in 4.5 lengths the margin and a half length back to third. 104.6, 34.78 the final 600 metres. Now let's have a look at Flemington, because we saw those shots of the big hailstorm before the Crown Guineas. Well, they won't be racing on that. I think there's going to be quite a delay. We've heard certain vehicles being hit by lightning out there, and there are the patrons taking cover whichever way they can. Don't forget that bottle of champers. That's the most important thing. Look at that weather down there in Melbourne. That is like snow. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and talk to Bruce Clark to find out just how long this delay is going to be at Flemington. Quite amazing scenes.
Winning margin is 4.5 lengths with a half between second and
yeah,
third.
No worries.
4.5 by a half. 64.6.
Hey, Dean, are you there?
The last 600 in 34.78.
Anyone in studio? They okay to pick up? Okay, is there a delay? If there is a delay,
weight.
you can show
Weight's
the
right.
Ellerslie New Zealand Derby with Monaco Consul in 4 minutes. The only reason we didn't show it was because it was going to clash with the Guineas.
Weight is right, 4.5 by a half, 64.6 and 34.78. Now in the next event today, scratchings 2 Chinchilla Rose, 6 Saddle Cove, also the jockey change K. O'Hara riding 14 Standy Selection, and Apollo's Pride number 11 to be ridden closer.